Right. Wildstyle, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Manon?
How are you?
Good, good.
Good. It's good to see you here. It's good to have you today. And for folks who don't know you, although it is hard to imagine anybody in Indianapolis who is not aware of you and your work at this point, you are a community advocate, a local historian, you're a writer, you're a hip hop producer, avid roller skater, and photographer. So you are a consummate artist. And earlier this year, Spirit in Place commissioned you to go out into the community with your camera to capture images of people freely identifying as their whole selves in the spaces and places that are dear to them. So you took photos of people expressing themselves as individuals and also in communion with others. Yeah. So we want to talk a little bit about that today. How did you approach capturing these kinds of images that connected to the identify theme? Like when you heard that theme, did you already have some inspiration or was this kind of all spontaneous as you got into the field and you started taking the images?
So a lot of what I do with photography has been capturing culture, and so there were some communities that I'm not engaged with that Aaron helped me get connected with, that I was able to capture some pictures that were great. But for the most part, that's what I try to do, is really capture people being themselves. And so most of my style of photography is, I don't do a whole lot of pose pictures. Some of them are pose, but a lot of my great pictures that I personally enjoyed are just people being there themselves. I'm trying to stay out of their way and just let them be who they are, and just capture that moment for to show people what they're doing and their culture. Yeah,
that's beautiful. And how did you get started with photography?
So I started it with photography in 2015. I am a hip hop producer as well, and I was managing hip hop artists, and they were starting to get shows, and we needed photography. And as the manager, we were all paying for photography, and the pictures we were getting just wasn't something that I felt like I could market them with. They weren't pictures that made me want to go to a hip hop show. So I borrowed a friend's camera. And I said, I'll try it myself. At least I can get what I want. And ended up falling in love with it. Pretty soon I'm taking pictures of everybody's artists, not just my own, and then branching off in the community and other events and stuff like that.
So your innovation came out of necessity, and then you just found that you were good at it, really, really good at it. And we have proof of that today, because we have some examples of some very beautiful and striking images that Wildstyle was able to take. So let's take a look at a few of the images included in this online exhibit. So this one, and I love the colors here. I love the vibrancy, and just like you said, capturing people being themselves, and you can really see that represented here. So this one is from a bike party taken in downtown Indy. Can you tell us a little bit about this group and why you photographed them?
So this was actually it was a Major Taylor community ride, and we rode from Riverside Park to the Indiana State Museum and looked at the exhibit. And a lot of these folks, they help out with Bike Party all the time, and they helped us out on the ride to block off the street so everybody could get through safely. And it was just the moment I was like, here, get close enough together for me to get y'all in a shot. And I got them in there like that. But I mean, they were instrumental in really helping protect, keeping us safe, and helping to organize and getting everybody across the intersection safely. And I think people don't tend to think that with those style of bikes that they're the most responsible people that you're going to find, and absolutely there was no better choice than them.
That's super cool. And I love how you captured the city of Indianapolis with this beautiful background, but then also it's like each individual person is so clearly represented. And so I think that is a gift in itself. So the second one that we'll look at was from the second year of Butter. And I love this one because I know this guy. So Butter is a fine arts fair organized by Gang Gang featuring Black visual artists from around the country. So what did the Identify theme mean to you in this setting? And also in this particular shot?
So the person here you're seeing, he is smiling. That is Pope Adrian Bless.
Yes, yeah.
He is a rapper and a battle rapper, and
one of the great MCs of our time.
Yes, definitely one of the great MCs. Mm-hmm. And he is holding his championship belt. He is undefeated. He's been undefeated for 2 years in battle rap.
Yeah.
But he's also a visual artist, which a lot of people are just now finding out about. And so this was, I think, just a great experience for him. He was very inspired and happy to kind of mix the mediums. But I took a picture of him, standing underneath the Butter sign to, just to kind of give the type of depth and feel and the experience, because that picture is kind of what I felt like going through Butter. Like what he's looking like, that's what it felt like being there.
Right, yeah, I would agree. And I was there this year also, and just that authentic joy, right? That joy in being in an affinity space where you are represented and where the people look like you, and the artistic expression is around your culture.
Yeah.
It is a place where there was this sense of, like I'm at home. Yeah. Like my identity is mirrored here. So I love that you say that you felt what he was feeling, like that there was this sort of mirror that you were able to create in this beautiful image.
And I think a lot of people felt like that.
Yes.
I think, I went back, I think, just about every day, and I planned to go there, but I didn't plan to go every day. But
right. I
felt compelled. I just enjoyed it so much.
Yes, yeah. So this was just a representative of the whole entire wonderful experience that Butter was, and really relates to that identified theme. So, yeah. Thank you for that capture. The festival has a few events where food is used to explore the identified theme. So you chose to photograph a community dinner that took place at Aspire House on Udell Street this past October. And this is a family at that event. What is it about food that you think help brings a community together? And this is also, gorgeous photo. That's so precious. Yeah.
I think with community, we're often like shuffled into these meetings and stuff about issues that most times when there's a community meeting, it's usually not about joy. Like, there's something great going on our block, so let's all get together and talk about it.
Yeah.
That's usually not the case of why you have community meetings. But when you community meals, all that other stuff gets thrown out, and it usually is you're enjoying yourself, you're eating, and it usually does end up like, hey, what's this great stuff that's going on the block? It's a whole different conversation, and so when people get together for a meal, the conversations end up oftentimes being different and more joyous.
Yeah, that's really beautiful insight, because food is life. And so when we can gather around food as this sort of great equalizer and something that we can all take joy in. I love that you said the conversations, right? Like there's potential for them becoming very different. And you've been a part of a lot of community
yes,
meetings.
I've been meetings and I see how it goes. When people sit down and eat, it's a very different conversation and it's more authentic.
Yes. Yeah. More authentic. Beautiful. beautiful insight and beautiful, gorgeous photo that you were able to capture at that particular event. We build community around activities that we have in common, the food we eat, art, and for many people, faith. So you went to several locations, the Indianapolis Hebrew congregation, the Hindu Temple of Central Indiana, and Christ Church Cathedral to photograph congregants in celebration with each other. What were some of the unique differences you noted, as well as anything that you saw people sharing in common at these events, which I also just love the colors. I love the colors. Like, the colors are really popping. Yeah, and so talk to us about that before I get lost in
Okay. Well, I think, I mean, one of the biggest differences, obviously, is the style of dress.
Yeah.
You know, the attire. And, you know, each celebration was very, very different. You know, the Hindu temple, it was more of a serious procession.
Yeah.
It wasn't a worship service, from what I understood, but it was part of a festival. At least not their normal worship service.
Yeah.
It was part of a unique festival. So that was a bit more serious. And then the others, they were more festive in general. Like,
yes, yeah.
I did, you know, there was games played, at the Hebrew congregation, and then there was a lot of great food at Christ Church Cathedral. That everybody was sitting down for a meal, and they were dancing and talking with each other and having a good time.
Yeah, yeah. And those, I think, differences and commonalities really stand out. And yet, in this collage, it's like they are all a part, right? Like, they all have a place. And so I'm wondering, it feels like that part of a photographer's gift is to literally just kind of locate, identify, if you will.
Yeah.
This sort of moment when you're like, this is it. Like, this is it. So, like, when I'm looking at even this picture on the right at the Hindu Temple of Central Indiana, like, it feels like one of those moments when you're just like, all right, this is it. Like, is that something like that you feel?
Yeah, I'm always, I try to be intentional. I think the angle that you're shooting things at makes a big difference in the background that you give them, because you have a choice of which side you're going to shoot on. And shooting on that side captured the temple and the other people, whereas if I shot on the opposite side, you would have saw a parking lot and German Church Road. And I think a lot of people, when they saw the picture at the Hindu temple, and I said I was out on the far east side, they laughed. You know, like, there's no way that's out on that far east side of Indianapolis.
Yeah.
But it was. It's just the angle that I shot it at, captured.
Wow. I know, because it does not look to me. I feel like, like, where is that? It actually feels like we're somewhere else.
Yeah. And you know that's the whole part. You know, and they built that temple for a reason. So I wanted to make sure that their culture is directly reflected in the picture, especially like or with the picture at Christ Cathedral, where she's dancing and she's got the very colorful dress.
I love that.
You know, that's more representative of Latin culture. You know, I thought that was just a great moment to kind of capture, you know, that spoke a lot about my entire experience there. And with the Hebrew congregation, she was, and I can't remember what the plant was, but she was showing them what this plant was and how it was part of the festival that they were there for.
Yeah, and I love that in all of these images, they are celebrating in their own way, celebrating their faith in their own way. However, all of it just speaks community. You know, like, all of it just really speaks the value of community, persons coming together. So yeah, wonderful. There are dozens of your images online at spiritandplace.org, and we want people to check them out, especially the amazing action shots of Indy's Black roller skating community. So can you tell us about your connection to the roller skating world?
So that's actually how I got my name, Wildstyle, is from the roller skating rink, and they named me that back when I was younger because of the stuff that I did on the floor.
Yeah.
And this is Nina Warfield. She is been a great mentor to everybody at the rink. That was her celebrating her 80th birthday.
What?
At the rink.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is back
80th.
in 80th. And she's like a unbroken
That's incredible.
line that connects
where?
us with
80 where?
connects us with a lot of generations.
Yeah.
You know, she was over the years. She's taught me so much about the roller skating culture, which is often overlooked in Black society. But you know, when with her knowledge and me looking it up in the recorder, it's been a big feature in Black culture for over 100 years in Indianapolis that I could track. And she's been skating for 75 herself.
Yeah.
So this was a great night. The rink really gathered around and celebrated with her.
Yeah. That's so powerful. Like, I love just that in that narrative, right? You get to bring and make visible a narrative about different cultures that, you know, other people may not be like aware of. Like just by looking at that picture that tells a story, right? And it's like, oh wow, like I didn't know that, or I didn't, you know, or I didn't know that the Hindu temple was like on the east side of like Indianapolis, or that, you know, like, or that the roller skating culture, you know, had such a rich, you know, 100-year history here. So, so just thank you for your passion that shines through your work. Is there anything else that you want to say about this project, working with Spirit and Place?
I think this has been one of the funnest projects I've done, because I mean, this is what I naturally do, but I was able to get connected with some communities that I've never been. I've never been to a Hindu temple or a Jewish synagogue before, and I had never been to Christ Church Cathedral before. So, you know, I was able to really get connected with, you know, with some faith groups that I had not actually had a chance to like experience their culture, and it was fun. Yeah, and I bet that's the beauty of your work, is that you're giving others that experience through your work, but you're also giving yourself the experience of being expanded and being enlarged by interacting, you know, with different communities. So it's educational. Like I learn a lot every time I go out. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Wildstyle, for coming in today to talk about this beautiful project. And where can people find you if they want to see more of your work or stay connected with you?
Well,
he's everywhere, but
I'm definitely on. I'm on social media. There's not a lot of Wildstyles. Wildstyle Paschall on Facebook, and Mr. Wildstyle on Twitter for as long as I still have that.
So. Yeah, I heard the Twitter one's popping. So
yeah.
Follow him on Twitter. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Blessings on your work.